Testing, testing, one, two, three.
Cheers, Carol. Thank you. Members, agenda item 1, apologies. If there are any from the floor, please indicate. If not, can you let Hilary know? Agenda item 2, declarations of interest. If there are none from the floor and nobody indicates, we will take them as we go. We will move ahead to agenda item 3, and I'm going to hand over to Gillian, who's online. Gillian, could you just check to see if you're on mute or not? Hopefully we don't have a technical issue. That's you. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Apologies. So thank you, Chair. Good evening, members. Item 3.1, ABC Sports Forum Service Level Agreement. Members will be aware that Armagh, Banbridge and Craigavon Sports Forum has been in operation for 9 years, supporting athletes, coaches and sports clubs through financial assistance and the organisation of the Junior and Senior Sports Awards and the Coach Education and Club Development Programme. It's recommended that a service level agreement is signed between Council and the Sports Forum and that a maximum grant of £60,000 is released. Thank you. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Gillian. I'm going to bring in the Vice Chair.
Thank you very much. It's just to declare an interest because I'm on that sports forum. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Herr. Councillor Jessica Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, just the same vein. A member sports forum. Thank you.
Councillor Flaherty.
Thank you, Lord. Oh, I was going to call you Lord Mayor. Chair. Thank you, Chair. Yes, wrong meeting. Yes, same as my colleagues as a member of the Sports Forum. I'd be more than happy to propose our second because when you're on it, you see firsthand actually the level of support they do give our athletes. But I'll just make sure my declaration of interest is declared, Hilary. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Flaherty. Councillor O'Hanlon.
Same here, Chairman, member of the Sports Forum, declaration of interest.
Thank you, Councillor O'Hanlon. Councillor Radcliffe.
Thank you, Chair. Likewise, just a member of the Sports Forum. Thank you.
Probably been quicker to find out who isn't on the Sports Forum here at this stage. Alderman Burns, unless you're going to come in with something different.
Thank you, Chair. I'm not on it, so I'm going to propose we accept the recommendation that we award the grant to the Sports Forum. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alderman Burns. Members, I do need a seconder, if possible. Alderman Tinsey, there wasn't too many of us could have actually put our hands up there, but thank you very much. I actually have Alderman Glenn Barr coming in online. No, he's reversed his indication. Okay, members, we're all agreed we can move on. We're on to 3.2, sport in the community. Gillian, I'm going to bring you back in again, please.
Thank you, Chair. Item 3.2, Sport in the Community Neighbourhood Renewal Application. An application has been submitted to DFC for continuation funding for the Neighbourhood Renewal Sport in the Community programme for 25-26. It's recommended that members agree that the Deputy Chief Executive accepts a letter of offer when it's received from DFC. Thank you. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Gillian. Councillor O'Hanlon.
Yeah, Chair, thank you. Chair, I note that it's the letter of offer or the report in relation to Portadown, Craigavon and the Lurgan areas. I know I've had approaches from some of the groups in Armagh City in relation to programmes around their MUGA facilities in particular. Now, I understand it's not covered under this, but maybe if it's something Gillian can go back to us in due course, because whenever they queried it there recently, they were told that it was a legacy issue, is what I'm been told. Now, I stand to be corrected, but if that could be brought back in due course. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor O'Hanlon. Okay, members, do you you want to bring Gillian back in on this? Gillian, do you need to come back in on that? I think, Councillor O'Hanlon, you were just asking for it to be. You're content?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Thank
brought
you.
back in due course, yeah.
Okay, so do we have a proposer and a seconder for that? No, I don't think we do. So proposed, Councillor O'Hanlon. Can I get a seconder, members? Alderman Tinsley, thank you. Thank you once again. Okay, members, we're all agreed. We have information items 3.3 and 3.4. Are there any questions relating to that? Any queries? No one has indicated. Oh, sorry. Apologies. The Vice Chair has indicated as well.
Thank you. It's just a matter of weeks ago, I actually had the pleasure of going over to one of these initiatives over across the road here, the Friday Night Sports Club. And I must say it was really good to see young people meeting on a Friday night and doing a lot of sports. And fair play to Alex Clifford, who organised that there. And as I said, there's over 70 people registered. On each night, they were getting 50 people playing sport. And I think it'd be good to get this done across the borough. Really good. So it's just to say thank you for all their hard work. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Herr. Councillor Johnson?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, it's just in relation to 3.4. It's just a quick query on the temperature of the pool in South Lake Leisure Centre, particularly the learner pool. I think there's been a few complaints raised with me that the learner pool is the same temperature as the main one, and obviously the main one has to be cooler for the club training, but it's just in relation to the learner pool. A lot of people have said it's colder than usual, it's just whether that can be investigated. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. I will just point out that's not actually directly related to what's in the information item. I will allow it to go, but I will be aware of any trends of people trying to put things in that shouldn't be. However, it is, we don't want people getting cold unnecessarily, so I will put it over to Paul if that's okay.
Thank you, Chair, and good evening, members. Just in relation to the pool temperatures, we check this every couple of hours, so we have a fairly good grasp of the temperature. The temperature has remained as it is from day one. It's 29 degrees in terms of the learner pool, so there hasn't really been any fluctuation. So I haven't really had any negative feedback about that temperature of that pool, so I'm happy to speak to the customer direct if they wish, but we do regularly check the temperature at least 4 or 5 times a day in just in relation to that temperature, so we haven't seen any deviation. Hope that helps. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So the comments have been noted, and hopefully if we do get some response from the public with concerns about that, it will be addressed. Okay, members, we will move on to agenda item 4. It is an item for information. Are there any questions relating to that? I have Councillor Flaherty.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. And can I just thank our, we'll say Director, Head of Department, Ruth, who has been very helpful with me of late regarding this issue here of the accessibility improvements. As we've talked about this quite a lot in between, actually, since I raised this again. And I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see this coming forward, and we can see what has been progressed. I'm loath to say, if I'm honest with you, I'm loath to say it feels a wee bit glossy, which is good because a wee bit of gloss done the world of good. For example, in Poor Downtown Hall, and I'm being probably a wee bit precious about Poor Downtown Hall, as some of you know that I do. But when I think back to when this began, with regards to the disability access in particular in Poor Downtown Hall, I see Mr. Crosby looking because he knows where I'm going with this. With 2021, where we're talked about it again, 2022, with some, I think the list there that you have, which is very clear, and thanks for that, is saying that there will be some things done before 2025, May this year, which is great. But I'd say Poor Downtown Hall is an absolute priority for me, and the biggest issue I have still that is outstanding is backstage accessibility. I know we've talked about this, and I fully appreciate the love, and the town hall's looking fabulous, and kind of put that on record. And I spent quite a lot of time in it there at the Speech Fest, so it was absolutely outstanding what was put on, and the staff were amazing, and accommodated as best we could for all the classes. But it is true to say there's been a lot of compromises made on both sides. So we know that in the original spreadsheets that were produced for all the facilities, and I can understand the 3 in Lurgan were set to the side, and that must be progressed at some point soon, I would like to think, because that is entirely unfair on the people of Lurgan that is not being moved on. But there were serious issues picked up when it comes to even structural issues there at the back. And there's structural, significant from what I can gather, even talking to staff, structural work that really needs to be done there to ensure full disability access backstage. And even there are wee issues getting some of, I use the example of the children, which were just, I can't tell you, but getting them onto the stage, that should not be the case. That should not be the case. Now, we have a lovely ramp. I don't think that's a permanent structure. I'm sure it's not. But it's a compromise, and it's working to a point. But given the fact that those compromises have been made, and we're now coming in, May 2025, I think we are getting to the point where I'm really going to have to be very firm in saying we need some money put into capital here to sort this out at the back, particularly at the back of the town hall. So that probably is 2 slight asks. Maybe again, I'm asking you again for more stuff, because I do keep them. So I have and they were quite detailed spreadsheets. You remember going down them all, Darren? I'd like an updated copy of those just so that I can compare them back, although that was very useful there. So just if I could be furnished with that, the original, and then update it would be helpful, just see where we are, because you can physically see some of the work when you go in, and the town hall is looking great, and I know there's more sort of aesthetics planned. Would that be fair to say at the front, which is great, because it should be just treated as the gem in the centre of the town that it is. And also, I really urge that there's some serious look at some capital spend at the back, particularly at that backstage area, just to make it completely equitable for everybody. But thank you very much for this. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you, Councillor Flaherty. I'm going to bring Nathan in on this. Could you just hit your button again, Nathan? Sorry. For some reason, that's not actually coming up on my screen, which is... just having some what they call technical issues, members. We will be back with you in a few minutes. Okay, I'll bring in now.
Thanks, Chair, and good evening, members. And thanks, Councillor Flaherty, for your comments in relation to Portdown Town Hall. I appreciate the patience on the work. I think it has been ongoing for a number of years, and I suppose in the past few months it's good to see that we're seeing some fruition for work that we've done there. In relation to capital, I suppose our plan is for 25-26 is to draw up some proposals and at least get a cost for the works and potentially some designs, just to kind of map that out within this year. That is the plan after we get the aesthetics of it done. But certainly it is a priority this year to at least draw up the costs and the plans for what the works that needs to be done on backstage there at Portdown Town Hall.
Councillor Flaherty happy. So that means a job well done. Satisfied, Councillor Flaherty? Yeah? Okay. Thank you very much. I have the Vice Chair looking to come in now.
Thank you very much, Chair. As I said last week, there I was at the jobs fair in Lurgan, and I must say the improvements in Lurgan Town Hall is excellent as well. So well done. It definitely has freshened the whole place up. And I see here it would be rude not to mention the Lurgan Community Centre project there in Mornvie. And Ruth, could you could let me know what the update is at the minute for us, please?
Thank you, Councillor Heron, through the Chair. Yeah, we have met now with our estates team in relation to this project. It is being assigned to an estates officer. There is a bit of change within that team, so that's put a slight delay, but we are progressing with the project plan for how that goes forward. It is going to be a lengthy process and going through the community engagement through to developing the final design and then the implementation, but it is definitely progressing.
Thank you, Ruth. That's good news. Are you happy enough with that?
Happy, yeah.
Vice Chair, yeah. Okay, members, that was an item for information, so we don't need any further hands up for that one. If we're all agreed, we'll move on to agenda item 5, which is correspondence. We have none. I am now going to ask for a proposer and a seconder to go into committee. So proposed Councillor Hanlon, Councillor Radcliffe. Okay, members and online viewers, in accordance with Schedule 6 of the Local Government Act, we will now be moving into a confidential session of the Council. This means we will be turning off the public feed of the meeting. This will be returned when the meeting is restarted. Can I ask the ICT officers to please turn off the feed and confirm with me when the confidential section of this meeting can proceed? Thank you, Cahill. Bear with me, folks. We need a proposer and a seconder to agree the recommendations. Alderman Tinsley, Alderman Baxter again. Thank you very much. Members, we are on to the final item, which is AOB, and of which I have one. Alderman Tinsley, are you happy to come in?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, it's just in relation to the points that I had raised last month referencing the plumbing issues that were ongoing at South Lake Leisure Centre. I have been on the phone with officers, but I just wanted to have like a formal response as to, I suppose it's really just finding out where are we in terms of reviewing the current plumbing system that we are not going to have, because we got an email through last week with regards to the men's toilets, which you can't tell me is not linked to all of that. So what we need to find out is, what is the problems and how are we going to rectify these, because they're not going to go away. So if I just wanted to raise it as an ongoing issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Tinsley, and I appreciate the time that you took with me this afternoon to discuss the same issue. But I suppose for us, we are aware there are a number of issues, and we're working with colleagues in the States to look at all of the issues that have come up, not just the ones in relation to plumbing, and how we manage those going forward. So there's probably a number of issues that we are looking at currently, and we are being supported by our colleagues in the States. What we do intend to do, Alderman Tinsley, is to highlight a number of the issues that have come up across the board and bring it back into committee so that members are aware of all of the issues as opposed to maybe just one or two for information. So we do intend to bring that forward as soon as we possibly can. What I will say is we are working to try and get it as quickly as we can, so I do hope that we would do that in April. But there is a risk that because of Easter and the April committee being slightly earlier, that we could end up in May, depending on how quickly we get back all of the information. So I'm looking at some of it, and it runs to some a number of lines on the spreadsheet just as we're tracking those. So we will update members as quickly as we possibly can. Thank you.
Yeah, Chair, I do appreciate that, and you know, I do understand that when you ask a question and there's a ripple effect, you know, when it's a bigger picture. But basically it was for reassurance to us as members and us and for the public as well, that, you know, I use the word auditing our system, that we are aware of what the issues are. And that was my question. Are we doing that without asking about a full detailed report? And then I suppose what the other question was, who's paying for it? You know, is there a guarantee? And to me, that was a matter of just really referencing what our guarantee covers. And I suppose that was, if even we can have some kind of a response coming back in April without it being just everything detailed. And I'm not aware of other issues that's coming up. Maybe I don't want to know, Darren, but no, I do appreciate that, and I do understand that sometimes I just ask a question and I don't understand the fuller, bigger picture. But perhaps if we could have a little bit of reassurance that what we are doing in the meantime. Okay, thank you.
I suppose, Alderman Tinsley, the reassurance is yes, we are aware of those issues and that we are working with colleagues in the States to look at those and to resolve what we identify as being the problem. So that is an ongoing piece of work that will happen on a regular basis and routine basis. And yes, there are some things that we can foresee and there's others we can't. One of the things that we can foresee is the one issue that you've highlighted now, given the fact that it has now occurred on 2 occasions. So we are looking at that with colleagues in the States. So the reassurance is yes, that is absolutely on our agenda. It is on our colleagues in the States. It is on their agenda. And then in terms of the payment of that, I'm not sure of all of the details now, and that would have to be captured and brought back at a later stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren, and thank you, Alderman Tinsley, for raising that. Members, that brings us to the end of tonight's meeting. I just want to say thank you to all the officers involved in writing the reports. I know a heck of a lot of work goes into actually getting these in and getting them on time for us to go through, so I appreciate that. And to all the members in the chamber and online, safe home. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Hilary.